Morning, Belize. Good morning. Welcome to the morning show. It's August 25, 2026. I'm Ernesto, and none other than Troy is here. Good morning, Troy.
Hey, Ernesto, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Belize. It is the 25th day of August. Wherever you are throughout the length and breadth of this beautiful jewel of ours, we say welcome to the morning show right here on Love FM and Love Television. If you're streaming somewhere in the diaspora, we certainly welcome you as well. And we trust that this morning's discussions are going to be informative and engaging. And the Bolito took place last night, and if you missed it, 90 is the number drawn last night. So if you won, congrats. If not, another draw comes up tonight at 9:10 right here on Love FM and Love Television. So you got to be in it to win it.
That's
if you're
right.
not in it, you can't
And I know
expect to win it.
something else that didn't happen last night.
Yes, we didn't
were
have
not
business
on.
hour.
I
Yeah.
heard the morning all over the city.
Yes, my apologies. There was a late notice for the mass camp.
Yep.
And they wanted it to be carried on television and radio simultaneously, and so we got bumped for mass camp. But
That's
usually
okay.
wrong that
Okay.
time, wrong
This
this time,
time,
and
yeah.
the celebration. It's kind of ebb and flow.
Maybe we need some distractions.
Yes, from all the other happenings, and so that certainly gave me a little break. But nonetheless, hopefully, God's willing, we will be back next week Monday.
Yep. Well,
And
this morning we have the British High Commissioner will be coming in telling us about the Chevening scholarship that they offer, and I think applications are being accepted right now. So let's find out. Maybe you qualify. We'll be talking to him about that. We've also invited Dr. Louis Zabane, Minister of Constitution and Religious Affairs, Indigenous Affairs, and more importantly, Transportation.
We'll be chatting with him. A lot more focus on transportation for the most part, and
Yeah.
and then we do have a third guest later on in the morning as well.
They'll be having what they call sip and paint at the Museum of Belize. And if you want to find out about that, we have guests coming in as well, telling us what's going on this morning.
Yes, sir. Quite a bit going on as we getting ready for the celebration.
After this short break, we'll be opening the phone lines for a few minutes. You can join us. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the morning show. 203-2098. Give us a buzz right now if you want to, and I mean by the phone. That's to give a buzz, yeah.
Not that buzz,
Not that kind of
electric buzz.
But the season for that is coming. The news says the bus association will continue providing bus services come tomorrow. Come the next few days till cabinet decides to give them more diesel at a reduced price.
Until cabinet meet.
Yeah, after. I am drawing the point that it's.
I don't know if cabinet will agree or not agree.
What do you think?
Well, the position is. I mean, I don't want to kind of create no sort of expectation. That's why I want it to be accurate, because the cabinet still has to meet and deliberate and decide whether or not that I don't know what kind of money we're looking at and how long. This was a 90-day period that expired in July, with the hope that the fuel prices would have been adjusted back down because, anticipation maybe the war would have subsided. That seemed to.
But we know that even if the war subsides now, it's not going to go down for a while.
There's a lag time.
At least a year.
Yeah, there's a lag time. But fundamentally, to answer your question more succinctly, is that there's no cabinet this week. I gather the Prime Minister's out of the country.
Right.
And so it has to be next week. The general feeling is that the government does recognize that it's a significant impact that the cost of fuel has on public transportation. Mm-hmm. And I think when you look at that business, as we've always spoken, and we'll talk a little bit more with Dr. Zabani earlier, is that it is becoming harder and harder to do business because your operating cost is increasing.
That's right.
And the consumer, the buying power is limited. Mm-hmm. And so it's going to reach a tipping point at some time where you might not be able to provide the service, or the consumer or the commuters might not be able to pay the fares. Mm-hmm. So it's a tough juggling act, and I think that if you go back, my preference has always been for consolidation of the industry.
Right. For
the simple reason that the economies of scale will give you a better advantage because if you just got one or two buses or one or two runs, you're going to be in trouble.
Yep.
Because even if you're not running full, where you're optimal in terms of your operation, your cost is so high that you're losing money. We see the BL situation
there
right now.
Go.
You know, where they are providing a service where they
at a loss.
At a loss, because
I didn't realize it was that bad. I knew it was. I thought at least they were breaking even.
I know him bad for a long time.
But I mean, I thought they were breaking even.
No. It was
this is terrible.
And when it was even worse than it possibly is now was the time when we had gone through the period of the drought. Mm-hmm. In that era when it was ultra dry and we couldn't even get a kilowatt out of the hydro. They sunk themselves in a deep hole.
Yeah.
Because you had to be buying at premium and you had to be selling at the control price.
Yep.
And even with the cost of power adjustment, which is a burden on the consumer, it's only 1.5 cents that they're allowed to recover, as opposed to the net difference that they're overpaying, that they're paying more, about 4 or 5 cents more per kilowatt hour than they're charging. So, I mean, anybody will tell you, if you're earning more than you're spending, that's only a matter of time before you're out of business.
That's right. Tell me about it.
So the same thing with the bus operators. I don't believe that industry will ever be substantially viable to take it to the level if they don't consolidate. So all those persons who continue to stay on the outside right now, they should start planning their life for life after that industry, because at some point in time they will have to concede to getting out of the business in terms of the one-off. And go take shares into the National Bus Company.
When the government gave them the benefit of lower prices 3 months ago. They didn't put a timeline on it. They said it's a 3-month thing, but they didn't say we will not renew after 3 months.
Well, it was a 90 days with the hope that
But no,
the fuel,
knowing what you know,
the government
be
could probably
wise-
come with another 90 days, maybe. It could come with that if they so, within Cabinet's wisdom, understanding the fact that, I mean, the government has, could do a hardline position to say, listen, we
Okay, we can't
can't
keep
continue
doing
to
this.
subsidize it because we are telling you that the state has to be involved some way, somehow in this operation because it's not viable as a standalone
and the state
independent
is
business.
doing XYZ or
and-
NBC.
Yes, because and I maintain that the state had to take a stake in there at some point in time. Every metro that I know
It's
of,
a form of subsidy.
yeah, because it's such a lifeline public utility that you can't allow it to fail. And
No.
the same thing with BEL. It's one of those utilities that the entire economic activity is based
That's
on as
right.
well. So you have to, even though you might not like it, the state has to get involved and find a way. And we saw where the state got involved with BL by putting in some 70 million, buying preferential shares, but in actual fact, they needed that cash flow
Yeah.
for working capital. Otherwise, they're going to...
And it's still owe $30 million.
Yes.
Which I'm sure is climbing
Yes.
at this stage.
And that is why they have to continue to find better, cheaper costs of power, cheaper power. Because right now, diesel power, the gas turbines are not your best
No,
friends.
not at all.
CFE can cut style when it wants.
That's right.
And change the pricing, and then we're because CFE, they don't really want to sell us the power.
No.
You know, it's more a favor to some extent. Yes, it's a little business for them.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they have usage.
They can
for-
use it. They can consume it.
They
Yeah.
can use it.
They
so
can consume it.
They don't really
No.
need to.
That's
sell
not their
us
business,
power.
actually.
No.
Hello, caller. Good morning. You're on the air. This is Love.
Yes, man. Top of the morning, Mr. Ernesto and Troy.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
What about the job on? Now, we're going to go ahead and job on the Troy?
Uh-huh.
Mr. Ernesto?
Which one? Brother, tell me.
The job on for BEL. Now, when you buy the pan, now when we really buy the pan,
And I understand. You mean that they owe money?
that talk about the payment plan. Now, like, when in Bali, really the pan. Mr. Ernesto?
And that I don't know if you'd go with that. We never prepared for this, which is terrible. It's embarrassing.
Then they talk about
We should maybe prepared for this.
people got equipment and how to the malfunction and all of this stupidness there. Then they talk about Chabak, they talk about that's the reason why they raise up the minimum wage because you have to that when everybody really depend. Huh?
I don't know where you're going with this.
What happened?
And you have to give me a point. I don't know where you're going with this. I'm thinking
My
to talk
point-
about electricity.
Honestly, we got out yesterday with them people that are being here.
Yeah.
Chabak, that would make one name. Mr. Ernesto.
Who, Mr. Young?
Yes, man. They how them Bali get them kind of work there, them kind of job there. Need to deal with them kind of people, Mr. Ernesto. My bill gone from such to such, right? Watch out. I go in to them, man, because it's not the add up. This is the add up, and the thing is, the Belizean people like they calm and they relax, but something need to get done, Troy. Something need to get done, Ernesto. Then
What?
when they kind of stupidness they and come on TV.
I
and
agree with you that we should have been ready for this. This is, we are in 2026. Okay.
No, the thing is this now. That's the way.
But what you suggest we do now?
This is what you call bamboozle. You know now what it is to make I tell you that phone is not for you. I come to you and I tell you that phone is not yours. I try to sweet talk you and they put it to you that phone is not for you. That's the way them boy they come with. That's the way them boy they come with. Mr. Chabat, you have to wait come again because Uno buy on the
Yeah,
food.
Carla.
Uno need to come again. That's the way I come again, man.
All
They might
right.
not move right, Mr. Troy.
Huh?
They might not move right. The
I hear you.
minister and the
I hear
CEO, they
you.
know they
Yeah.
move right. They need to get their act together and make them stop the lie and bamboozle the Belizean people.
All right.
How the Belizean people will get up to me? This is a power stupidness in this store. Like,
That-
how we are continuing to live like this? What's for the gas? But, you know, everything now a mess in this country. Everything now a mess in this place. So, how them bali want come on national TV can tell me they stupid instead? Like, how you have got the gall to come on TV can bring that kind of stupidness there? You understand what I'm trying to
All
say?
right. I hear
I
you.
hear you. We hear you. We hear you.
Thanks,
You're
man.
reflecting what a lot of people are thinking.
The issue that I see, the more explainable portion is the cost of power and the net difference. That's all right. What most persons are kind of uncertain about is the actual
next?
metering. Is the actual metering seem to be the problem because people are saying that their bill has jumped up significantly, especially as they have
because the
these
new meters
new
are a lot more
meters.
sensitive.
Well, this is where
they're reading everything.
Well, this is why I'm saying to
Yeah.
BL that they have to prove that to us. They have to prove that a kilowatt
what
hour is a
happened.
kilowatt hour
Yeah.
that I'm getting.
Hello, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hi, morning, Troy. Morning, Ernesto.
Good morning.
I have a. Why doesn't the government get creative like other governments have gotten when it comes to energy and instead of
Example?
subsidizing the importation of solar equipment and helping people install solar in their houses and having that contribute to the grid, we tax it and make solar more expensive to acquire. Why? That makes zero sense, right? So those
The what? The solar.
PUC never explained that decision as to why they started to tax it and why they didn't make it
Oh, tax
friendlier,
solar.
easier to acquire. That's one thing. You have this rampant issue of corruption also with this present administration. That airport security money could have been used for this. The millions that went missing in the Ministry of Defense could have been used for this. But as usual, right, we privatize profits and socialize losses. That is, I mean, for those who can't see it, that is spelling it out right there for you. Privatize profits, socialize losses.
I like that.
That is what the government of Belize is doing right now.
Yeah, Carl, I like
Yeah.
that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
right,
Thank
sure.
you. Because see, that reflects the thinking, the general consensus.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
it's been been mismanaged over there.
Yeah.
It'll be difficult. I know they're trying to do their best in some areas.
I just
but it's so
I just
difficult
wanted to
get
go
out
back
of that.
to the measurement because that's I think will become the crux, and I've sung the alarm to the authorities within BTL as well. If I have problem with my water, BWS will come with a container, a gallon or so, full it, and then I can look at my meter and see that it moves 1, 2 if there is a
One
doubt.
per- yeah,
yeah.
you're
So
getting a
so
real
there must be a instrument that can be used to justify to me that meter when it says I use 1 kilowatt hour, that's what I got and that's what I'm paying for, you know, because people are saying to me that when they look at it that it's moving so fast that they believe that its calibration is off.
Yeah.
So if that is the case, if that is not the case, then prove it. And I think then people will get a better appreciation. But this way where we
But the minute
immediately
it-
go to say, well, it hot, and you use more AC, and you do this, and people are saying, some people
I
are
haven't
saying
changed my lifestyle.
their lifestyle hasn't changed,
changed.
and my bill has gone up. So I'm
The
saying,
minute you heard they were changing meters, there had to be a reason.
yes,
And the reason was not for my sake, it was, I'm sure, for theirs.
yes,
At somewhere along the line, you see, if you want to use the water analogy, there may be leaks in the pipe, right? So I think the new meter, what it does is that the old meters were not as sensitive, so they were getting like leaks. So what you're right, if you're going to tell me, no,
I'm
this
not
one
saying
is
any
going
of
to
that.
read, but
all
you're
I'm
right.
saying
I mean,
is,
so now you're
prove to
really
me-
charge me.
Yeah.
So I was getting away before. That's basically what you're telling me. Right?
if in layman terms, yes.
Yes. Hello, caller. Good morning.
Hello, Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Hi, Ernesto.
Yes, sir.
You make a laugh, man. Lin Young and the minister. Where the minister? Try, you know the minister.
I
don't know what
only heard
I
bits
don't
and
know.
pieces of it, and
I don't know what planet they live on. If you think people really stupid, if you're able to go up by 2-3 times more, I used to tell me simplest but thing they heat up in your house and they say, it's all that the house will catch fire. All that the houses they don't catch fire. For electrical appliances. If thing they heat up, you know I know about motors. You know I know where they say.
yeah.
The stream, another, the heat, another extreme, like you go the 125, 130 degree, they're not that. But they're in the 90s, and sometimes the 80s, where they talk simpleness, which I justify, and crookedness. Because of that thief people, but every day I got the same routine, and I pay $60 a month. Someone my building at $300-400. Tell me what difference in the temperature could ever cause that simplest one in the talk about.
If that kind of increase, yeah.
You know that's stupidness. And listen to me, try. They're too high on them. I've been saying it before. Where you going to pay $250 million for? In 10 years' time, you want only to $1. Where you going to invest that money in a too high dam? Where you're owning at 10 years, why not use that money and to deal with the other system? You could have used that 250 and you know where they talk about. Whether they look to go into solar, you could have invested in that. Why you want to buy 2 dam and you know they dam there for the end. Because they got a lifespan of maybe 40 years. So they know why they are give free. Why you going to invest in that? That's stupidness, my brother. That's how because somebody hustle that deal. I would have never, as a leader of a country, buy no 2 white elephant. Because they are like white elephant. Because they know they help you. Then they got more problem to maintain. You should have left that deal. 10 years time we owned it for $1. Believe and you understand? In 10 years, we may have owned it free. Now $1 US are nothing. Why you are hurried up by that? Tell me what sense to make try. You tell me, you're not economist. Tell me what sense that makes.
Okay. All right.
You don't really help in the cost of power. That bring a burden again to we. Because we have to pay back them money don't pick up. So you're trying to use that money to invest in the solar system at the talk about.
Okay.
It's really rough. And then people are liars, and thieves, and worthless, and corrupt.
All
and
right,
that's the way they happen in this country. And you know that.
yeah,
You know that big hustling. Then they can't work the week. Then they told them, the people are selling it, they selling. Because our birth today, so then look for a big simpleton we want to hustle for the Belizean people to make them money. And that's the government that they do. They hustle after that sale. They hustle after that sale and left with a bag of shit and not afraid to say.
All right, but then-
But then they
Yeah.
use it.
We have to
And
afraid
the
when you say it,
seller, then they damn
though.
them use it.
All right, man.
We'll take care, have a great day.
All right, you too.
You know, when you talk about the whole war in the Middle East, and they say, but didn't somebody tell Mr. Trump that if he attacks Iran, Iran may close the strait? And you hear they say, yeah, we told him, but you know. So you go back 15 years, back 20 years now. Did nobody at that point was saying, look, what we have now will only last for the next
We
10
tell him.
years?
They told him, yes.
Somebody
the
said
government was told that back then
Way back, yeah,
under the
you know.
Barrow administration, they were
So
told very clearly.
I'm sure they had
that
meetings that said
our-
this only lasts for so long.
our-
we need an alternative. We need
our
something.
power, our demand for power is increasing, and we don't have the capacity. And I think I listened to your newscast earlier this morning where the executive chairman went to great pains to say, well, we are where we are now, but indeed, we didn't do we
should-
didn't add
exactly.
any further more
That is where you get
generation
back
of
to
power
find out
back
what
then.
happened then, and somebody have
Good
to,
morning.
Well,
have to, you know, that this is what happens to us. Nobody takes responsibility. Hello, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
morning.
I'm requesting, please, Mr. Gab, please, let these drivers keep these bus door closed.
All right.
They're still driving on the road, Northern Highway there. If
Yeah.
they're even the distance is short, close the door. They will kill people.
I hear you,
Yesterday I was on the
brother.
highway there,
Yeah.
the motorcycle was coming and the guy still race class past the motorcycle with the door open. Please, if the door open inside or outside, keep
Yeah.
it closed,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree with you,
There was
caller.
an accident,
Somebody may
And the
get,
reason why for the
Well
somebody
said.
get killed already.
sir,
That
Yeah.
open
if the
door.
guy is standing up at the door and he happens to have got on feel bad if pass out,
Yes,
how
sir.
the driver and catch him? Keep the door closed.
I wonder if the door
Because
could even
you
close.
could fall sick right at the door, say they get cool meter at the same time and end up get the drop out of the bus. Please
Yeah.
keep the door closed. Whether they start distance or long distance.
Ernest,
keep the
that's
door
a very
closed.
valid
Passengers
question.
must remain seated until the bus comes to a full stop. The driver should not move off until the passenger is seated after they get on board the bus. That's the rule. That is there for another leave why.
Yes, I agree
And
with
these
you.
drivers are not adhering to none of these things. These drivers are just drivers. So they had a driver in 1997, 77, and I see how we used to operate the bus. Then the time the law is there. Please keep the doors closed, the door closed to the bus. Even
right.
the city bus, stop the race on the cemetery road. Then they try to get on the Kino side to pick up passengers and things. All these buses are running down
Yeah.
on the boulevard on a high speed with door open. Please stop it. You don't need it.
Yes, sir.
See what's happening with the motorcycle? The motorcycle there, the next time they're hard ears. You have fastened, you see a container truck in front of you or the bus in front of you. Don't try to beat the bus or the container truck to say get out of traffic same time. The oncoming vehicle is doing more speed than the bus, and you on the motorcycle don't have sufficient speed to clear the bus to get back in the lane. You see how the guy gets knocked down on the highway there, 3 days ago or something for this weekend, man. The cyclists have to stop the stupidness. Don't overtake with your wife and picnic and motorcycle in the city, on the road, or wherever you're going. Stay behind the vehicle and you're safer.
Wait your turn.
Please,
Thank you, caller.
cyclists, don't drive your motorcycle with your wife and children. You overtake anywhere on the street, even a Freetown road, they don't care where they did. Please.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Right, sir.
Well,
The time
you
is
can't-
7 o'clock,
Can't say
yeah.
it more clearer than that.
That's right. Yeah. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Good morning, Belize. We're back, and we have some guests in the studio. We have His Excellency Alistair White, the British High Commissioner to Belize, and he's joined by two lovely Belizean ladies, because we'll be talking about the Schevening Scholarship, and we'll hear more details about that. We have Janine Cayetano, who's an alum. You were there in 2017.
Yes.
And we'll find out more about that. And then we have a young lady who will be going. So, Janine, you can tell her your experience and what to expect, what to wear, you know.
Yes.
Who not to talk to, you know. Be careful of these people, you know.
I mean,
Tricia Gideon will be going
To the
soon.
University of Kent. Huh?
Good morning. Let's talk about the Schevening itself. Excellency, welcome. Welcome back to our studios. You know, so far, the last time you were here, told me Belize was being nice to you. Is it still, Belize still being nice to you? Or?
Belize is being very nice indeed to me. So yeah, I've been here over a year now. Yeah, and there's a few. I'm looking forward to the next few years.
You're not at the point of not wanting to go back to the UK yet.
Nope.
No.
I'm at the point of wanting to do more scuba diving and explore more beautiful Mayan sites. So yeah.
Great. Good to have you. Well, clue us in. Remind us what Schevening Scholarship is.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for having us here today. So the Schevening Scholarship's the UK's flagship scholarship scheme, where we provide a one-year, fully funded master's degree in any UK university in a subject. I mean, it's a really fantastic opportunity. I'm very, very envious of people who take up and some of the best universities in the world. And over that year, you get to study with part of a group of hundreds of other Schevening scholars. You become part of a global alumni network of over 60,000 scholars, many of whom have gone on to be heads of state, heads of government, even Nobel Prize winners. Don't worry, that's not a criteria. You don't actually have to do that. But it's an amazing opportunity. The key, though, is that a Schevening scholar, to be one of the 131 that we've had from Belize previously, you have to
131.
persuade us, of your leadership skills, and that you will bring everything that you learn from UK back to Belize and contribute to the leadership and development and future of Belize. So it's about Belize. It's not about the UK or the United States. So it is about your personal development, but you really need to convince us that master's degree.
Building capacity.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Janine, you did it in
2017.
2017. What's your experience like, and how impactful it was for you, and the contribution it allows you to now do?
At that time when I left, that was my first time really exploring life outside of Belize. For me, that was an entirely different experience, especially since coming from a small country like Belize and going to live in a place like London, because that's where the university was, University of East London. Cultural shock.
Yeah, tell me
Right,
about
because
it.
it's quite different. For me, it was I was asked one question: are you prepared for the weather? Right, and it might seem like a very small experience for some, but coming from a place where we experience dry and rain or wet rainy season, and going into a complete different climate where you have to go from wearing thin clothing to sweaters and jackets and all these things, and experiencing maybe seasonal depression, because it's quite different.
Yes, yes.
That was a culture shock for me. That was a different experience. In terms of the education, it was a bit also different. For the first time, I learned how to really read. I mean, I know how to read, but I mean sit down and read papers after papers, research after research, and not only skim through, but you have to read, you
Yeah.
have to learn, you have to understand,
Digest.
and yes, and you have to apply. So I learned through that experience how to look at the different challenges of other people and even living in Belize from a critical perspective, and taking that and bringing that back home, utilize what I learned and tweak it to fit our
yeah.
culture, because we do have different beliefs and practices in Belize, and we just can't take information or research and
What
utilize
was
it
your
here.
area of study?
I did a master's in clinical and community psychology.
Okay.
And so when I studied that, again, I had to learn how to practice cultural humility in Belize, and understand that, like I've said before, we have different beliefs and practices, and we just can't come and completely utilize what we use, I guess, in the Western Hemisphere, and just
Just transplant,
translate that
over
back
here.
into at least
So
like
what are you
Belize.
doing in Belize now? Since you came back.
I have been able to wear different caps. I previously was the director of the Employee Assistance Program with the government of Belize,
Right.
and the executive director of the Mental Health Association. But now I'm wearing the cap of a lecturer with Galen University, and have recently launched my own private practice, Elevate Within.
So you study people, right? And why we behave the way we do?
I observe behaviors, yes.
You do? Are you studying me and...
I don't do it. I don't do it 24/7. There are times when I don't wear that cap.
You sure?
Yes.
You can't. You always wear it. You always do that. They say 1 out of every 5 people is crazy.
We don't even use the term
so if
crazy.
it's none of your friends, it's you. Is that true?
So I've heard.
No opinions right now, right?
So Miss Tricia, you're looking forward to going through some of the experiences Janine just spoke about?
Well, I have to jump in here because, interestingly enough, you won't need that heavy clothing.
Why?
London is broiling.
Oh, right now.
Right now.
Right
Yes.
now.
Right now.
But I guess
Some of the
in
hottest
the
weather.
winter month it gets real chilly, so you have to prepare because it's 1 year straight through, right, High Commissioner? It's a 1 year program, right?
1 year, but
Yeah.
just to say, I mean, it's not a good thing, but you know, the UK's experienced record heat
that's true.
this year, so I think some of the culture
But
shock
she'll
will
be
be a
able
bit
to handle it.
less.
She's
Yes.
used to that.
Exactly.
Yes. By the way, Anne-Marie is reminding us of our colleague that she is a scholar from
Yes,
Shibboleth as
Shivning.
well.
Yes.
The Shibboleth.
Anne-Marie is...
Yeah,
She will
yeah.
handle it, because when I was there, when summer started in June, July, and it got hot, it was amazing. But September, October, I started to cry because the weather started to change. So she's going to appreciate the heat.
So,
It's-
what you're
it's-
looking for, Tricia, in terms of your studies itself, as you listen to Janine's experience?
I'm looking forward to meeting new people. I'm
Okay.
looking forward to the ideas of just this engagement and deliberation, and just understanding how people see things from different perspectives. My area of interest was negotiations, or is negotiations, and so it's how I hone those skills better, and understanding that negotiations take some psychology, it takes some trade, it takes some foreign policy, it takes some law, and how do I ensure that I understand the environment, and so that when I'm at the table I better connect with my counterpart effectively. So I'm excited to see how people engage with each other. I want to learn more. I'm excited to just meet people.
Excellent.
When are you leaving?
I'm scheduled to leave the 25th of September.
Okay. Oh,
Yes.
you'll get a chance to do all the celebrations first,
Yes,
and then
yes.
then you leave.
Then I dive into the weather.
Okay. Let's find out how do you get to become a Shivning scholarship recipient? What do you need to do? What do you need to have?
Yeah, I won't be able to answer better, but every year we open the application window, which is at the moment, and you got a few more weeks until mid-end of October. the Chevening Scholarship, go online, have a look at the criteria. You need about 2 years, a minimum of 2 years work experience after, well, as part of and an undergraduate degree here. And then fill in. It's easier. Well, it's not easier. It's simpler than it used to be. We ask for fewer words, and you'll be asked questions on, why your ambition, why this degree, what demonstrate some of your leadership skills, and also most importantly, how are you going to bring all this back to Belize. Put in the application. We then spend months and months and months considering it, leaving you on the edge, and then there's an interview process where we speak to candidates again, and then hopefully able to confirm people's awards sort of around June time in the year before heading off in September usually. But yeah, I will say it is a competitive process.
It is.
We're lucky because Belizean scholars are brilliant, and so we get really good qualities of applications, but there'll be hundreds of thousands of scholarship applications around the world, and only about 1 to 2% or maximum 2 to 3% actually get through. So we really are dealing with some of the really talented and sort of future leaders who get on this scheme.
So are there cases where some countries don't get any of their applicants to go?
Aside,
Are there cases where some countries do not get, are not successful?
That would be pretty unusual. We offer the scheme across 160 countries.
Also, you make
around
sure
the world.
that, because this is Commonwealth oriented, isn't it?
It's Commonwealth and outside of the Commonwealth.
Oh, really?
Yes.
It's outside of the Commonwealth.
So there's a separate scheme which is Commonwealth Scholarship Scheme. It's all part of the UK Foreign Development Office, but the Chevening Scholarship is open to non-Commonwealth countries too.
Okay.
Oh,
So like each country does specifically have so many scholarships?
Yeah, exactly that. So some countries, massive countries, will have more than we have here, but we have a good quantity and quota and allocation here in Belize.
Yeah.
Like we say, we've had at this point 131, soon to be more Belizean scholars in just over 40 years of running the scholarship scheme.
Yeah. So basically we have 131 persons have actually benefited from this scholarship. When you look at is there where you've kind of, I noticed there was some footage being shown where some of the alumni come together. In your view, are they still around? And is there somewhere where you bring them together every so often? Is there an alumni association and things like that to kind of?
Yes, we do have an alumni association.
And share experiences?
Yes, we do have shared experiences. We communicate. We have like a WhatsApp group where every new person who have completed their studies, they join that WhatsApp group, and we come together, not as often, but we do collaborate with the British High Commission. Yeah, we do collaborate with the British High Commission from time to time to assist other persons or students who might want to apply for the scholarship, and going through that process with them when they're there, during that process, when they're there, and when they return back home.
I noticed that you said you went to the University of East London, so it's different universities throughout UK, because you'll be going to University of Kent.
Yeah.
So that would be in a different location, I would assume.
Any universities. I have lots of Belizean scholars going to Scottish universities as well, which always worries me because of the weather in Scotland is really tough. I just wanted to add to, you talked about the alumni and the support. Moving overseas for a year to go and study can be quite an intimidating experience, and that's one of the brilliant things about the Chevening scheme is the level of support. The alumni, the scholars who are already there, who are reaching out, saying, let's meet up, let's go to the pub, and just checking in on each other. So not just the Belizean, but the students from around the world are all looking after each other. It's a really, really supportive network, and not just when you're in the UK, but before going through the application process, which is why our alumni are so fantastic and actually play a part in the interview process as well. And then afterwards, that's when it really kicks in. You're part of this incredibly powerful 60,000 global network, but then there's 131 here in Belize as well, you know, helping each other, building, we all know that professional networks, whether for good or for bad, professional networks really are what help you get on, and the Chevening do that. But they look out for each other, particularly on a pastoral level to that year, where you might be living away from friends and family. You suddenly get new friends and family, which is pretty cool.
That's
Yeah,
right.
indeed.
Yeah. So how big is the, how many members you have in the
I didn't-
alumni right now that are active?
I'm not quite sure of the numbers because
Yeah.
I didn't check the numbers, but we have quite a lot, quite a
Quite a
few.
few,
Yeah.
A good chunk of that
And-
131, no?
Yes, and we are able to, even though when we leave and when we come back, we do keep that connection. And in fact, I have collaborated with quite a few of the alumni, a few of them in terms of work, you know. And so we keep the connection going and we keep the support alive, because when we do leave Belize, we tend to gravitate towards other Belizean in creating a sense of community and a sense of belonging with each other when we are away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that happens.
Do you have the subjects that have been, you know, taken, and the studies that have been followed by the scholars, by the Chevening scholars? I'm sure there'll be an array of subjects.
So it's not restricted. So you could look at any UK university, any study, any course studies. I mean, some course studies are probably going to be more suited to the way the application process works. But recently we have civil engineers, lawyers, medical students, obviously in psychology and social care. And then we have-
Archaeology.
archaeology,
Okay.
foreign policy, music even. We have the professor of music at University of Belize, the Chevening School. It's the first ever music and arts focused Chevening scholarship here in Belize. So, you know, if you've got the talent, we provide the world-class university system. Yeah, everything from Oxford, Cambridge, University of Kent, East London, Durham. I won't list them all, and then, you know, any of the courses on those curriculum, and then just prove to us why, you know, you're getting the fully funded scholarship is going to benefit
That's
Belize.
convenient. You can follow any study you want.
And then it
Basically.
demonstrates how we could contribute to the development of Belize, right, in leadership
That's right.
position.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you have to be working at least 2 years as a criteria. So I guess you want a level of maturity, maybe. Is that one of the reason why that might be the case? Somebody fresh out of school might not have had that sort of foundation.
I thought you can correct me. I think because a lot of people actually, you know, query that a wee bit, but the way the process going, where we're saying the biggest thing you can do in your application is what are you going to gain from the study and what are you going to bring back to Belize? It's actually quite hard to make that case if you haven't already established yourself a bit in your career. So, you know, somebody who's really established themselves in the
That's
field
it,
of
yeah.
psychology is, you know, able to convince us more. And then we have a foreign policy and trade and negotiation expert already. You can say, this is the next step for me, this is how I get to the next step. And I think unless you have done that professional experience, it would be quite hard to say that how this is the next step
I see
rather
your
than just the
point.
next
Yeah, I see
degree.
your point.
Yeah, so that brings me to Tricia. So what was on your application? Where are you working and where did you get that experience?
So I am working at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, and I work particularly in the Directorate General for Foreign Trade, and I am the Deputy Director there, but I was also a trade economist for years, and I had worked on the CARICOM desk looking at many different policy issues and negotiating different positions for the government of Belize. And one of the, when I applied for this scholarship, 2 things happened. I said, I'm going to tell somebody so that I finish the process. Because, you know, if you keep it to yourself, so I'll tell somebody so I finish
And
it.
the psychologist agrees with you.
And 2, I said, it helped me personally to iron out what I really wanted to do. Like the questions helped ask you, so you want the scholarship, why? You know, why do you matter? What are you going to achieve? How are you going to shape your life in the next few years? And I sat down and I thought, what have I been doing at trade? And what I've been doing is negotiating. So I had the trade aspect. I was picking up some of the foreign affairs aspect. I was working a lot with the Attorney General Ministry to implement laws. And I said, well, I want to do the trifecta. I want the three of them. And so actually the reason I picked University of Kent was that they had the international law and international relations together, while other universities just had international law. And I said I wanted that combination to ensure that I become a more effective negotiator. And I was just telling the High Commissioner that last week we were in El Salvador and we closed the trade deal, and I was a market access trade negotiator. So I feel that this would help me to level up my negotiating skills. And she spoke about the alumni, and I have to say that I have been working with all of these scholars in government in every area to bring this trade agreement, and the team that I work with. But you have the Ministry of the Attorney General's Ministry. One of my colleagues worked there. You had EDC, a colleague there who was also a recipient, and it was just amazing to see how everybody is a part of this big network growing Belize and the impact they're making. And even within my department, I have a colleague who was a recipient. So I was already benefiting from the intelligence.
The Belize is growing.
Yeah.
And becoming, we have to be more interested in foreign relations. You know, that's really cool. Very, very nice.
Well, we see that becomes more and more significant, especially how we ended up with situation where you have areas of isolation. Then you need to get all these agreements in place because everybody is trying to protect their turf. So it's important for us to be able to negotiate in order to get access or vice versa. So
you're getting time off from your job to go and do this.
Study leave?
Yes.
Okay. So
That's excellent.
it's bound to come back. When we look at the overall contribution, what's the measuring stick maybe for the UK government to say how much that they have contributed and in terms of investment, and how do they kind of do that measurement to kind of get the level of satisfaction from the process?
So I assume saying from how our scholars are subsequently contributing to their country. It's we don't do too much formal. It's not. We won't be asking for a written report in 5 years and saying how many points to GDP have you added to trade negotiation. But I think it's the virtue of the process in itself that vast majority of our scholars do go on and are committed to the process and become active members of the alumni and become active and senior members of their trade. We ask for that commitment up front. We don't then go back and check necessarily that.
You don't keep nowhere in some ministry in London, they're keeping a record. I'm sure some of your scholars are famous, probably became leaders of organizations or countries, or
definitely. I think we had
there's a possibility.
27 heads of state, but that's not necessarily a measure of success either. Everybody has their different personal journey, and the journey that you started at the beginning of the achieving process might not be the journey you're on when in
like
5 years' time.
Like a poster boy, a poster girl for Shivning.
Yeah, but we don't all need to be poster people, do we? We just need to. I hope that this is has a massive contribution to people's sort of personal development, no matter what those next steps really look like.
Actually, it's very eye-opening because you see certain persons around, maybe they've achieved their academic success, but you never really kind of figure out how they got to do it. And and so as we've seen Janine, we're going to see Tricia. We heard feedback from Anne-Marie, who hosted us as well. And so you could now get an appreciation for the impact that the program has had on Belize, because they're dotted all over, and as Tricia pointed out, that everywhere she looked within the government ministry as she was working, she keep touching base with persons who had the Shivening experience as well. So I think that's a good measuring stick right there. That people are still active in the growth of the country.
And they really are. And it's one of the things I can sit here and talk a little bit too much, but quite proud of it. I said at the beginning, I'm really envious. It's an opportunity I wish I had been aware of. I mean, I'm not allowed to apply for the British scholarships, but the opportunity to go and do further study abroad with new people in I can shamelessly say world's best universities in the UK. You know, it's an incredible opportunity. I wish I had. But yeah, me being back in Belize when I'm in a government ministry, or I'm speaking, you speak to cabinet ministers. So many Chevening scholars as part of this community, the brilliant alumni association. It doesn't matter what your career is. So many people are really, thriving in that career, and I hope that the experience that 1 year in London, that fully funded scholarship, has contributed to that.
No, this is excellent, because the two ladies here representing what you say out of the box. Everybody wants a degree in business administration. We have a psychologist and an international law student. That's the way to go.
Exactly. Well, we will urge High Commissioner come back later. We talk some cricket.
Let's talk cricket. We just won our first match in season 4. We beat Pakistan last week. So
I know. I saw that, so that's why I brought that up to kind of tease you, and because the commentator kept harping, and that's been a long time.
It's been a long time, yeah.
England has won, but cricket is very popular, especially among many of the large Commonwealth countries. Very popular.
And I should also say, don't forget that Arsenal are now champions of England since we last met. So in football as well as cricket, we're thriving.
Excellent. Well, Ernesto, we're out of time. We certainly want to thank both ladies for coming in. We certainly want to wish Ms. Tricia good luck. All the best, and stay close to the WhatsApp groups so continue to get guidance, and Ms. Jenny will continue to contribute. And so sooner rather than later.
Where is the University of Kent?
In Canterbury.
In Canterbury.
England.
Yeah.
Yes. No matter which side you're at, it's still cold.
We must say that the applications are open, right?
Yes. Applications are open.
And so we welcome students.
We're starting for the next year.
Yeah.
Do not leave it to the last minute. The longer you give yourself, the more preparation, the more time you spend with the Alumni Association to help you prep for that process, the better it will be. But if you write it in 24 hours.
I think I said this the last time. When you earn this, you really earn it.
Yeah.
This is not handed to you. You have to earn it.
Work for it.
Yes.
Yeah. And we encourage anybody who is going to apply, don't wait to apply for the university after you've applied for the scholarship. We encourage you to apply for them at the same time.
Oh, yeah, because that has to be done as well to get acceptance into the...
You have to get admitted.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Well, so I want to thank all three of you, His Excellency, and, again, congrats on the UK win, the England win over Pakistan. and again, congratulations to Tricia for winning the scholarship as well.
Yeah.
And for Janine as well, for being here all the way from Kamalote.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Folks, we are expecting our minister to come in and chat with us, so stay with us here on the morning show, please.
A moderate and somewhat moist east to northeasterly airflow prevails over the country. And in the 24-hour forecast, skies will be sunny with some cloudy spells today and then cloudy at times tonight. A few showers and thunderstorms will affect mainly the south this morning and tonight, and then otherwise activity will be generally isolated. High temperatures for today will reach around 89 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 95 inland, then 82 up in the hills. Low temperatures for tonight will reach around 82 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 72 inland, then 68 in the mountains. Winds over the open sea will be from the east to northeast at 5 to 15 knots, with sea conditions being slight to light chop. with high tides occurring around 7:52 this morning and at 9:12 tonight. Low tides at 3:23 this afternoon, then at 2:20 tomorrow morning. The sun will set at 6:11 this evening and rise at 5:37 tomorrow morning, while moonrise is at 4:43 this evening and moon set at 4:12 tomorrow morning. And now for the extended forecast. Skies will be cloudy at times, with a few showers and thunderstorms expected mainly over southern and central areas on Wednesday, then mostly over the south on Wednesday night. Elsewhere, activity will be isolated. And finally, for the tropical weather outlook. Shower activity associated with an area of low pressure a few hundred miles east-northeast of Bermuda remains disorganized with a broad and elongated circulation. This system currently has a medium chance of becoming a short-lived tropical cyclone later today before it moves over cooler waters tonight and Wednesday. Then there was an area of low pressure centered a few hundred miles south-southeast of the Cabo Verde Islands, which is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms. This system could become a tropical depression during the next few days while it moves westward to west-northwestward across the eastern and central tropical Atlantic. Please note that neither of these systems poses any threat to Belize. And this has been this morning's weather report from the National Meteorological Service.
Pelican is more than just
Good morning, Belize. Good morning. Welcome to the morning show. And we are moving on. The phones are open 203-2098, 203-2098, 203-2281 for a few minutes. We're expecting a guest to arrive. When we had the first session where we spoke to you and you were able to join us, the subject was, of course, the electricity bills.
Right.
And some people are claiming not only the double, the triple. One gentleman say pay 60, I got about 300.
Yes,
No, I
yes,
don't know.
yes,
You know. Like I was mentioning in a previous show, that now you have to understand that nothing switches off in your house anymore. You know, if you have your TVs, you're always using electricity. A lot of devices you have, if you have a microwave,
Once it
if
plugged
you have
in.
air fryer, if you have anything that's connected, doesn't turn off anymore. They always have a little signal or a little monitor or something. Nothing is mechanical anymore. It's digital, and that is absorbing electricity all the time. In fact, if you walk around your house, when you turn off all the lights, or you go anywhere, you always see a little red light in a corner, or you see something glowing, because it's using electricity all the time. So that you have to remember. It doesn't shut off like before. Before, I think the only thing you used to keep running are the fridges, the refrigerator. Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not now. If you have 2 TVs in your house, if you have 3 of them, and you're at work and they're not working, they are still consuming electricity. Mentioning that the
Huh?
new
See all right?
meters that BL has installed
yeah.
are, I hear is that they are more sensitive.
Well, they're digital.
So yeah, so this little consumption that's occurring is going to
Yeah.
to measure it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So you were using the analogy of water, like how do I know I'm getting a kilowatt?
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
I'm getting a real
yeah.
kilowatt, but how will I know?
well, this
as
is
a-
why I'm saying to BL, because yesterday when they asked the executive chairman about the meters and its accuracy, he said we test them in our offices, and so the question is, what test did you use? So bring that test out in the public domain, so that first and foremost persons can understand that the calibration is not charging them for a kilowatt hour when they're receiving less. So the same way, and I use the analogy of the gallon of water for BWS. So there must be a measurement that is sensible, that the general public can believe that they're getting what they're paying for. Right.
You have to use like mathematics to measure a kilowatt. Good morning, sir. You're on the air. This is Love. Yes, sir. You're on Love.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Morning.
Morning.
But Ernesto, them things, what you just say, we have them things for years.
No.
Much
Years, but more and more now. The TVs 10 years ago.
But Ernesto, if your bill is $60, I got to 300.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Triple, Ernesto. Come on.
No, hold on. I am telling you to be wise. Understand how your electricity is now running in your house. We are using more. I agree, not double. Or I don't know. Because even refrigerators, they say they are more efficient, but I tell you that refrigerators don't come with screens and monitors and all that is using power.
Yes, but we poor people don't have that, Ernesto. That the poor people mostly complain that their bill, they double and triple. I know they say there are people, I don't know The one who have money, we don't want most of the triple, but they're not complain. Most of the poor people complain.
They
We
complain.
don't have them. They
I complain and I the right in with everybody as part of the poor people flock. I complain and I honestly saying the same. What I hear, I will agree with you, caller, from the standpoint that there has been some significant adjustment in people's bill upwards, and that is why I'm questioning whether or not the new meters are properly calibrated. That's my question first. That has to be proven to me.
That's so.
Right?
Okay.
To be proven to
one
me.
More thing.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But, the next thing, right, what I want to say, we have one set of people that head the company, then they gone and then come back. And I know the city different since then come back, things just get worse. Seriously.
Okay.
Yes, they got a qualification and things, but things just get worse by the company. I understand. I just work at BL, so I know. They shut down the plant, the Magazine Road. I just work at the plant, the Magazine Road.
Okay.
They say we might get cheaper current, so they shut it down and then buy current from Mexico. Now everything turned back our way. We might say the diesel is, but right now then they buy diesel to go down that PG. But
Yeah. Like a
that's
planning
my
caller,
point
we know
of
that.
view. And
Thank you,
come
thank
and
you.
Tell me, yeah.
Thank you, caller.
We didn't plan.
anyway.
We didn't plan.
Yeah.
I agree. We
And-
didn't plan for this.
And also the issue here is I don't know, we talk about looking back and where they didn't have the level of planning.
Yeah.
And that's good for the political discussion when they get into the blame game situation. We are where we are right now. And so we always try to advise people, when is the next best time for you to make the change and adjustment? It has to be now. And so my situation here is that there has to be a serious acceleration to find alternative and cheaper source of power quickly. We talk about the solar, but we need to see more energy put in that whole situation, because 2 years ago, when we had this huge drought, we talk about the need to increase our capacity locally so that we could be independent. One of the reasons and one of the justification behind the hydro, as the caller was making the point, was for energy independence.
Yeah.
So we had all the energy within our borders that we could control that as one of the reasons behind buying the hydro. We could question all the other things that he brought up in there, but one of the justification is that we wanted to control our own destiny. Tied to CFE is not controlling our destiny.
No,
we could still
no,
keep that as a
it's
backup.
still dependent.
As a backup, and we could buy when it's cheap. Like I heard in the news, we are getting this 40 megawatt battery backup system. You buy when it's cheap, you fill up your battery, and then you could sell at a premium so you make a profit.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. That's the business model. However, we didn't get much further as far as the eyes can see.
Yeah, we didn't make any
We
progress.
got further over the last 2 years. So
That's
it's
right.
important for us at this point in time to not let 2 years pass again and we're having the same
The
discussion.
same discussion. Well said.
And that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we'll take a break. We'll come back and bring in our guest.
Looking to perfect your roofing or siding project with precision?
Welcome to the morning show. We're back again, folks, and we are at 4 minutes before 8 o'clock. And in the studio, we are being joined by Minister of Constitution and Religious Affairs, Indigenous Affairs and Transportation, Dr. Louis Abane. Good morning, sir.
Thank you,
Welcome
Mr.
to our
Vasquez.
studios. Welcome to the Culture and Love Television.
Thank you to both of you.
Morning,
Dr.
Doc.
Troy, thanks for having me.
Well, we know the big elephant in the room is transportation, and if we could kind of jump straight into that whole concept, because the National Bus Company, the last time you were here, you were earning some of the growing pains. The question was, any update as to where we are with the National Bus Company and the move forward? And then also if you could kind of delve into the whole concept of the latest request from the Belize Bus Association for another round of subsidy.
Absolutely. So we had promised to do a second press conference, which is slated for September the 4th.
Okay.
We did one right at the beginning, March 2nd, for the first 6 months. So at that press conference, the executives of NBC will be sharing all the achievements that have been made since then and laying out the next 6 months. So there I can give some highlights. They will be speaking about the upgrades in buses that have already occurred, the dramatic reduction in breakdowns. It's still occurring, but not at the rate that it used to occur. Our move to electronic ticketing. So all of that at the press conference. With respect to the BBA, we had a very good meeting with President Jones yesterday, and we mentioned that in fact the next cabinet meeting will be the 1st of September, which is next Tuesday. Unfortunately, we couldn't move faster because there's none today.
Yeah.
And at that cabinet meeting, our ministry is preparing a case, giving the details, the data, the evidence of where we are, what has been the trend in fuel prices. When they came, it was an upward trend, ending up way above $16, $16.05 thereabout.
Yeah.
Now the trend has gone down a little bit to the mid $14 range. So we have to present all of that to them. And I'm sure that my colleagues, like last time, will deliberate and look at it and determine what can be done. I also mentioned that the subsidies are not something to be considered perpetual. It's to address, an exigency, and we can't promise that after this next 3 months, the proposal will be for another 3 months, and we'll see what cabinet says. But it can't be a case of you have your cake and eat it too, right? Because the government's policy from May of last year, when we started to meet with them, we formulated that the modernization of our intercity sector. As you know, the bus sector has 4 different areas. Municipality to municipality, those are called intercity buses, the village buses that come from villages to municipalities. Then the school bus sector, which is also a very large sector, subsector if you will, and then the charter sector, especially for tourists. And we looked at first, we've been addressing the intercity sector. We'll move to the village sector shortly. We already started to meet with them. And in there we said, listen, that to go forward to the standards that we believe our people deserve, our commuters deserve, the model that has been in place has not delivered. We call the race to the bottom, that's literally a race on the roads.
Yeah.
And that didn't work. So we looked at history as well. In the 70s and in the 80s, there were only 4 bus operators. Right? I had sent a slide, if maybe that could be put up.
Yeah, William.
And then really 5 bus operators across all of our highways.
There you go.
And those operators had a gentleman's agreement. I'll run on this road, you don't compete with me. And when they come to Belmopan, we will not compete with you on the Western, and so forth. And that was the basis for them to have profitability, continue to improve their buses. In those days, those bus companies would buy brand new buses from the factory and bring them in, right? You have a ticket seat system in place, terminals that came into government's hands after the collapse of the consolidation, were actually built by the bus owners, the bus operators, just to show you the different approach that was working in those days, and then how it got undermined by all of these road service permits.
Right.
So we said this model cannot work. Let's look at another model. We looked across the world. If you look at jurisdictions across the world, most countries own the public transport infrastructure.
Right.
And then they would give permits to people to drive their buses. And they use the term operator. So you're a bus driver, really. And then you have a contract and you have to drive the bus a certain way. But the bus itself is owned by the public sector.
Right.
So we said, instead of looking at a nationalization, which it would have required for us to move to that, and you know that if you're in this setting, the experience we've had, especially at the Tower Hill Bridge, we thought that would not be palatable. So let's go for a public-private partnership and invite everybody to participate. Well, we got the majority, and more than the majority. If you look at the slides there again, we could show that the membership in the National Bus Company comprises 67%. If you go down below that, farther down, you will see the list of buses that, one more. Yeah, there you go. 67.3%, I think, of the market in terms of miles covered.
Yeah.
The 18 operators, one more just joined, is covered by the NBC, the People's Bus Company.
24,692.
That's the total miles, right? So those 18 now were competing just a few months ago and at each other's throats, literally on the highways. Now they're cooperating. So the word company was really used because now you come in company with each other, right? And so now we move back, in a sense, to a setting we had way back in the 70s and 80s. Because now the whole southern corridor is NBC. So you don't have that racing anymore, right? You're able to rationalize your schedule. In fact, soon NBC has been consulting for the whole month of July and August with commuters on optimizing the schedule. From the south, we haven't been using the coastal road. So now people, imagine, because it was set in stone, would go all the way to Belmopan and then come to Belize City, right?
Wow.
When the coastal road is right there. So we have been working with them, tweaking it
So
up.
if you're going to Belize City, there's no point in going to
Absolutely.
Belmopan.
So about almost half of the runs would be coming through the coastal road. People get to Belize City quicker, right? You have less expenses. Everything is there, and that's a huge investment that was been made in the coastal road. So those are things you can do now because you're in company with each
That's
other.
right.
You're working together, right? And so when we say now, some people want to put it, oh, it's the big bad NBC against these poor 13 small mom and pop.
This is the thorn in your side.
Right? But it's not. That's not the case. The NBC has the largest 4 companies, right? But the other 14 were 2, 3, 4 runs that they had. But they decided after the analysis that it made sense to be a part of the NBC. And so I invite the Belizeans to see the NBC, not in the traditional sense of a big bad monopoly, but as a cooperation, people coming together to gain economies of scale, which is at the press conference we'll show very clearly, big time.
It is all working.
It's working well,
So
right?
once, at the end of the day, it will be accepted by the service it gives. And if it's working and improving and successful, you won't have to try and convince to accept it. Because at the end of the day, the commuter doesn't care how you get it. They just want to get on the bus, get a good ride, pay a fair fee, and get home on time.
Absolutely.
That's
And
what they want.
And we've just added 8 buses to the fleet. About 38 of the old fleet will be auctioned off. We've bought all buses. Some of them are good for, well, even better than some of the school buses are really bad shape.
Yeah.
So these buses
And
will
the
be
little
better
village
than
runs
yeah,
too.
yeah, and some village and perhaps next door,
Chatara.
right? Whatever the case, and some will buy it for parts, right?
Yeah.
For their buses that they
Yeah.
have. But you know what we're seeing with the economies of scale, right, is real. We've seen that the costs of inputs, the big ones, the tires and all the other stuff you buy in bulk, all of that is going to be to the
Obviously,
benefit
that's a reward.
of the
But now,
of the company.
how do you address these who are saying we don't want to be part of NBC, but you still have to help
Yeah.
with?
Yeah, well, I mean, they will see the 8 new buses. Well, it's 15 that are being procured. 8 have already come on board. And the commuters now at the terminals, like in Belmopan, are saying, no, man, I want my AC bus, which they deserve. So the others now understand what the standards look like. They have a vision of it, because our plan is by the end of next year, it will move 100% to electric buses. The UNDP EU project, for which we're very grateful, have shown the significant reduction in costs. The energy cost for an electric bus is only 22%
Yeah.
of a diesel bus. So if you spend $100 per diesel, you only spend $22 with an electric bus. It's a significant difference. And that is now the rationale too, as the government has moved away from the investment of the terminals to go direct into the investment of the electric buses. So the value of all those terminals that were built in the 70s and 80s, about 20.9 million, is going to come into the NBC in terms of about 24 electric buses
assets.
plus charging stations that will have that impact earlier. So those 13 now that are there are welcome. The doors have always been open. We have never disrespected them in any way, but we've said if you think you could meet the standards on your own, then good for you. We will share whatever information we can. But on the other hand, this is the government policy, this is the people's policy for us to reach to those standards, and if you want to join us, you're more than free to do so.
So the message is eventually, like you said, you can't be giving them 3 months in perpetuity.
No, it can't be.
So very likely the next 3 months might just be okay. After this, you're on your own.
Well,
I know to put words in your mouth.
Yeah,
but
well,
you
I'll
have
try to make a
you have
case like
be-
that to Cabinet.
You have to be to the point. But again, you say the doors are open, but they won't be open forever.
Well, you know, as we go, so how it works.
Because if the NBC keeps growing, one of two things will happen. They will be replaced.
Well, yeah, indeed.
I mean,
so either
they will be replaced.
if they drop out the market, or but we made a commitment to them at day one that the National Bus Company is designed for all 31 operators, right? Government needs to keep its majority ownership so that it can not birth the NBC and see that it can stand on its own. And in that ratio, at this point in time, operators have a little under 40%, and then the public sector has the other 60%. And so as we go along and they want to come in, well, everybody has to add in their investment to keep, if they want to keep their shareholding. But everybody understands that design from day one. They also have another option, which a couple of them have, uttered here and there, that maybe they should form their own company, right? And that's quite fine.
Yeah.
But in that setting, they're doing their own thing still.
right. It's-
But there are many benefits to get from having a company format, the economies of scale and so
Right.
on. So perhaps maybe some of them might take that route.
But at the point, but what I'm saying is, though, the NBC is designed to grow and become the
It is.
transport company of the country. So these companies can be, I don't want to use the word squeezed out, but eventually, if you keep buying buses, you will be able to replace and put runs where they are, or at this point, are you saying we will never compete with you?
No. To be fair, they have legitimate road service permits for particular times that they run.
Okay.
That's their right. We're not going to
So you have
impinge
no
on that.
intention?
No, we're not going to impinge
even
on
in the
that.
future?
No, neither, going forward.
Okay.
However, what we're doing, though, is rationalizing that system, because some of the operators, to compete, what they did is to apply for a road service permit to say, for example, 6 o'clock, they have a run already, and they're servicing that run. But they might think that a competitor will come now and get 5:45 to compete with them. So they get one for 5:45, right?
But they don't put a bus on it.
No
just
bus,
in case.
just in case. And so you have many of them who have more road service permits than they actually are servicing. So all of that has to come out now, right? And now if NBC can service a run and
At
make a case for
5:45.
it, then now that's a way that NBC can expand. But we're not going in there to undermine anybody purposely. On the contrary, it's to give the service to our commuters. So those are there's so many things that need to be
But just
cleared up.
Just
no?
for the sake of time, and if they can't keep up with the standards, and their buses start to fail, I mean, at some point, their runs have to be taken
that
over.
will now bring you
That's
to the
a transition.
legislation.
Yes. So thank you for So as you heard on Friday, we had 2 interventions that we made. One is the Public Transport Investment Bill. That bill is designed for government's policy, which is the PPP, to offer it incentives for it to be able to become sustainable going forward. Beltrade gives concessions. All that's part of their mandate. So you have dozens and dozens of companies that have these fiscal incentives.
Right.
This one is basically designed for NBC, and other things are included in there. How the workers will be treated, transitioned from government workers to NBC workers, etc. All of that is in there. Then there's the concession resolution that we presented as well, having to do with the fact that NBC now has exclusive coverage of the Southern Corridor and 83% of the Western Corridor. The Northern Corridor, it has about around 24% of the Northern Corridor. So what these tiers of concessions do is to require higher and higher standards. So in exchange, if you will, for getting 15 years exclusive rights on the South, NBC will have to put electronic systems in there, will have to have a reporting system, a certain quality of financial system, accounting system in place, a whole host of things, safety, a critical area. So all these things will have to be put in place to satisfy its annual commitment to continue to enjoy that exclusivity.
Yeah.
But it's no different from, in a sense, of what fiscal incentives do. Because when you get a fiscal incentive, as you know, you have to be doing a certain number of employment,
Right.
so much foreign exchange, and all these things, right?
Yeah, to put it in context, like State Bank project
Right,
that had a
yeah,
concession.
yeah.
So it's no
Yeah,
different
but it's
from
under
none of
certain
these large-
regulations that you have
The
to
National
do.
Gas Company has a
National Gas Company
concession,
has a concession,
right,
yeah.
and so on. So these are things that we need to do to incentivize the changes in the market to be able to now move in a way that we get to the electric buses. When the electric buses come, you have a management system in place that's conducive to that type of technology, etc. Right? So it's an overall upliftment of standards and a change
and
in
then what
mindset.
that does, to piggyback off what Ernesto was pointing to, is that those other operators outside NBC, if wanting to be able to get access to that level of concession, would have to elevate their service as well. So at the end of the day, the commuters across the board will be a win-win. Because
I mean, we want to get to the FP Council for a couple of minutes.
Okay, sure.
Couple of questions here. Because at the end of the day, what do you see happening to the BBA? Because can they access these concessions if they form a company?
They can apply to Beltrade, and in fact, in our discussions with the president, Mr. Jones, we had a very constructive discussion, and you know, there are small business grants out there for, you know, to help.
But you have to formalize your business.
You have to have structures in place.
That's right.
Right. So we've been encouraging them. Let's use modern approaches to things and come together, work together, so that then you can access these things. I also want to say that, and I want to commend him, because he gave reassurances. In the House meeting on Friday, I was compelled to mention that one of the largest operators in the BBA, because remember, they comprise village runs, they comprise city runs, so there are a mixture of all different types within the different subsectors. But one of the largest in the north is also the shadow minister for transportation. And I
for the UDP.
For the UDP.
Yeah. Okay.
And we implored, and the president gave assurances that we don't want the politics to seep into something that's of national importance, right? You don't play around with the transportation of people. When the NBC runs, it runs for everybody. It's the national bus company. And so we likewise would like to see that the communication from them and us improves as we go along, because it's in service to commuters. But we do know, because they have reported to us on occasion, that there's that tension within them, because some of it, they want to use the BBA for political purposes, and we're saying that that's a no-no. And I am very satisfied that the result that came out in the last letter that they put out is very positive, and I want to commend President Jones for that, for the leadership, because people will see and judge you by your actions, and that's very important.
So, for them to exist along with the NBC, they have to change the way they do business, period.
Absolutely.
They can't survive the way they are structured right now.
When NBC transition to all electric, there won't be any consideration for fuel again from the NBC at all, because it's going to be now making sure that your solar infrastructure is in place and working well, your charging stations are working well, and we have calculated that NBC, just with the 67% right now, will be saving over $8 million in fuel imports that it uses annually. Right? That we will not need any longer foreign exchange to buy that fuel, depend on what is happening out there. We will be depending on the God-given sun that we have for solar, because it will be powered by solar.
A lot of that, I understand.
And we have quite a bit of that in Belize.
With climate change, more.
And then we will have BL as a backup in the event that at some point. We will keep a few of the nicer buses that we have that are diesel, just as backup, but it's going to be a setting in which now, for them, and I believe the more visionary ones among them are already seeing, because we have 3 of them now who have contacted us that wish to switch over to NBC.
The buses you just bought, the 8 or 9 buses.
8 buses, yes.
8 buses. That was a reinvestment from the company itself?
Yes,
no?
yes. So the company was able to make the case to one of the financial institutions that see, the financial institution sees the deposits, right, that come in. So they know. In fact, I don't want to give up too much of what will be said at the press conference, but a good dilemma we had. We had a certain ceiling of deposits per month, and we exceeded that.
Oh.
So we, the people are saying, man, you're outside of the bound. Too much deposits are coming in.
Application for increase.
So
meanwhile, the shareholders are saying that they are getting.
Well, the company's value is growing. And I want to really commend the people who decided to come in.
That's
because they are also still sharing their wisdom with us. We, obviously the board comprises 3 operators on that board and 4 from government. And they're actively there, sharing ideas. So, boy, when I'm there, I may get so much for diesel here if I get 5,000 gallon tank. And then with that, it's better. Now they're working together.
Yeah.
And now we can get the even better rates than they could have gotten individually. So these things show that in anything else, it's a lesson for many things.
Okay.
When you work together, it's
Obviously.
a better setting than when you're fighting with
Obviously.
each other, right?
You wanted to touch EPIC.
Yeah,
Time
you're
flies.
having consultations. Give us just remind us what EPIC is and why.
Yeah,
where are we
So the FPIC is a protocol, free prior informed consent,
Yeah.
that is a part of the process that has come to bear because of the CCJ consent order of 2015. We have moved along recently quite swiftly on the roadmap that now calls for the review panel representation from government. Prime Minister has selected myself and Minister Martinez as representatives of government. And the Maya Leaders Alliance, TAA, they have 2 representatives as well. We had 3 meetings. The MLA TAA felt that there was not progress along the lines that they wanted, so they went back to the CCJ to make their case again that the process was not working out. The CCJ recently pronounced that, on the contrary, the process is moving forward and asked that they rejoin the process. In the meantime, we have been doing public meetings to inform everyone of all the different stakeholder views, because it's important that the nation recognize how complex this matter is. You have the Maya perspective, which is what is being protected in a sense from the CCJ consent order, their cultural practices and their land tenure. But at the same time, you have private landowners in those areas. You have non-Maya communities that are villages nearby. Then you have other Maya villages that don't wish to practice cultural land tenure, historic land tenure. So it's quite a dynamic. In fact, you have certain villages that are split down the middle, like Indian Creek, for example, right? Where you had this situation with the alcalde and thank God we were able to that he came back from
that he
that
was
ordeal
supposedly kidnapped.
and so on.
When I find out who kidnapped
And you have friction in the community because now you have a village council elected by the people of the village who are promoting modern land tenure using the modern system.
Yeah.
So right there you have families and brothers and sisters on both sides. And we've been on the ground and we've asked them, listen, we are all brothers and sisters. Let us let the process work itself through. And let us have the voices of everybody heard. So we've met in Belmopan, we've met in Punta Gorda. Our next meeting will be scheduled in Belize City. We will advertise the venue and the date and so on very soon. The next review panel is at the end of this month, the 31st. So then, at this point, the land owners called third parties are now going to be on the review panel as well. And so then from there we will, as they say in some of the Latin communities, en el camino se arregla la carga, right? That means that as you go along, you have to be flexible. You have to be willing to adjust and work with everybody to find the best path forward. So with the third parties on board at the next meeting, we will see how that dynamic works out and try to continuously encourage moving the draft legislation to the point where it goes to the House, goes to committee, goes to consultation
Once everyone
again.
has agreed.
And we see what the end result will be.
What's the specific objective, Minister?
Well,
I mean, all these complex, the complexity you described will be difficult to get a compromise. Is there at some point where is there going to be the majority vote, or something like that, or a majority referendum, and if you didn't win, well.
Yes. So how
do
the
what?
process
I mean,
works
how
is
this, at
is
the end of
that-
the day, it sounds like you won't get everybody to agree.
yeah, it's going to be difficult, and we continue to say that as we meet together. But it can't be that it's just us and the MLA talking,
Right.
and we carry this forward, and then, you know, we're taken back to court again
Yeah.
by the third
By another
parties or
group,
another.
yeah.
So we all have to be around the table. So the number one priority is that we need to see each other as Belizeans that need to strengthen our social cohesion. It has to be getting stronger rather than us tearing ourselves apart. That's number one. Then we have a roadmap that we've agreed to, which means the activities that we do together. One of it was to develop a policy, a government policy. That policy then gets converted to a draft legislation. The draft legislation is discussed at the review panel and with the intention of modifying it with everybody's views as best as possible. That is then taken to Cabinet. Cabinet then takes it to the House. The House then takes it to committee. It then goes for another round of consultations, and then it comes back, and the laws are passed. And then
And once it is law,
it is law, right? But then still, you can use the courts to say, well, this law is still impinging on my rights or whatever. But that's the roadmap, and we have to come together and try to find the best way to compromise. Everybody cannot get everything,
right.
right? And so from the Maya perspective, if I could say, they want to have a demarcation process that is consistent
That's
with
what I
their
understood.
historic
That's what I
ways
understand.
of using their land. When they do that, however, it is such a vast area that it covers many
Like you said, private
many areas,
properties and so on.
and they may have some legitimate arguments that some of these company lands may have been issued out just fairly recently, and the people are just speculating on those lands and so on. But then you have legitimate people who have been there from they have title from the 30s, 40s, or whatever. They can trace it back, and they have been investing. So it's for us to converse and to understand how we move forward. The government's proposal in the draft speaks to 5 acres for each person in the village, regardless if you're a child or an adult. The Maya leaders are saying that is too little and it's too confining, right? Then the other communities are saying that is too much. We are giving away too much to them, right? So again, it's not an easy matter. We have to speak respectfully and have open minds and try to compromise, and that's
But-
how we go forward.
Explain this. If I have own property and I have title, you're saying that can still be threatened by whatever comes out of this?
Well,
That my land could be taken away?
it
I
is.
mean, the law applies, it's my title,
Yes.
it has a boundary.
Yes,
You go
yes.
around that.
Yes, in the consent order, right? If we are to follow the consent order, it says that under the Constitution, the Mayas have a right to their form of land tenure.
Wow.
But it doesn't say specifically how we will arrive at a formula that works for everyone.
Yeah.
They leave that to us,
That's
as
the
it should be.
formula you're working at.
As it should be, right? Now, if there's a case where a parcel of land that's privately owned is given to the Maya village, to the community, then they have to be compensated, right? And that's the discussion that we will have now.
But it's taxpayers' money that will
Yeah.
be used to
Absolutely.
compensate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the Maya leaders are saying, well, you know, we know of funds that can be granted to us to be paid, for that to be paid. Well, we haven't reached that yet
Oh,
to
man, so let's bring
determine,
it.
right? We haven't reached that yet. So that is why it is so important that we're all around the table to hear out each other and to work together to solve the problem, rather than shouting at each other, having distrust of each other, right? With a setting of distrust will
This
never
is
bring the
complex.
best
This
result.
is complex. I understand
So-
there are persons who are actually living, have residence And they're smack dab in the middle of
That's
supposedly.
correct. Yeah.
I mean, how do you compensate these people?
That's right.
Yeah.
Now you have some cases, a few villages now, to be fair to the Maya leaders, where there's basically they're so remote, there's nobody around. So perhaps those can be addressed first.
Yeah.
Right? So we can go maybe make the best of what we can,
And then
then we go to the
try to
more
solve
complicated
the
ones,
ones.
and we gradually try to find a way to deal with that. But it is not something simple.
No.
And
No.
critical to
No.
every step is that we do it respectfully with each other and remember that we are all Belizeans. There is a bigger threat to all of us, right? The ICJ, we're waiting to hear. And that should
There you
unite
go.
us as a people, right? The father of our nation, George Price, worked so hard to make us one country. And there are benefits of coming together as a country. You have roads that the people can use, the school system that is there, and so forth, the healthcare system. So the nationhood that we have brings significant benefits, and we can't forget that.
Minister, this is really complex. We have wars going on because of the same attitudes.
That is correct.
I
People,
want my border over there.
yeah, and people who
You
say
know.
they're cousins or whatever,
And they
they
still
fight
fighting
with
with
each
each
other,
other.
right? We can't get to that. We cannot tolerate that. And so that's
You got
why
your
we
hands
work so
full,
hard.
man.
Yeah,
You got your
yeah.
hands full to try to solve the
But I
minorities, and then
have faith in
they-
our Belizean people. Listen, having gone in the villages and listened to our people, they might not have maybe even finished high school, but you listen to some of them speak, and the critical thinking skills that they have is really very sharp.
Experience.
So we have a lot of brilliant people across our country. We shouldn't take that for granted at all. And that's why we have to listen. If we don't listen and we're just putting out what we feel, we know everything, you will never get to the right
We talk
place.
about that all the time.
We do not
Get
know
emotionally-
everything.
We get emotionally
Yeah, we
involved,
don't know
and
everything. We
don't
have to
follow the
learn from each
discussion.
other, and we have to start to trust each other more, and we have to start to give some credence to our structures of authority. I always want to compare how far we are in terms of certain things. We say we want all of these modern amenities and benefits and all that, but there's a certain cost to doing that. If you look at Singapore, you go spit one chewing gum on the ground, you know, and catch
Get
you.
locked up.
The guy that painted
He get lash.
right, you see? Now that's an extreme case. I'm not suggesting that for Belize. But those people developed a social cohesion among themselves. They believed in certain values that they have as a people. And they worked hard
The
together
leadership created
to
that.
get there. You have to sacrifice,
They had
you
a
have to
leader
work
who
hard.
said this is
right?
going the way it's going to happen.
Yeah.
My way is the way.
Lee
What they call
Kuan
a
Yew.
benevolent dictator. No?
Yeah.
Yes, it was a
I have
dictator.
faith in our people, and I know we'll get there.
Yes, indeed. Well, Doc, we certainly want to thank you. I know there's
Yeah.
quite a bit more.
Yeah, we could talk about religion in Belize and all that, which is also
the
part of your
PCC
responsibility.
constitution thing that
Yes, the
Yeah.
Constitution
we're about,
reform.
the Prime Minister laid on the table.
Yeah.
But at your service, and
You have to come back.
always
Yes,
grateful
yes,
for the
yes, you have to
opportunity.
You
come
have to catch one of them, boss. Come back to us.
Yeah, well, that's why we have them on the road, right? So I have to go catch my bus.
Somebody says that we have to do something about the bus stopping along the roadside.
Yes, yes, yes.
Not at the actual bus.
They still
bus
do that?
stops.
Yes,
of
no,
course.
no. It's
Especially between here and Ladyville seem to be very
you see,
prevalent.
listen, a lot of these challenges we have in our country has to do with behavioral change, right? The whole thing with motorcycles, that you mentioned, in that unhealthy competition, that's what caused that.
Yes.
You have a bus, you want to pick up people, so you stop in front of their house, and you drop them off in front of their house so you can get that person on your bus.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Yeah.
the system that encouraged, a bad system
Yeah, we
encouraged
have
that.
all these bus terminals and bus stop and nobody
Yeah,
under them.
That's right. And so we have to go back to that and remind the village people, our lovely people in the villages, that in a big city like Belize City, you have to move from the next side of town to get to the terminal, right? And that's where you catch your bus. So these are behavioral change issues that we have to work on.
Yeah.
But again, thanks for the opportunity.
But it says they like the job that the trajectory the NBC is on, so that's good.
Thanks again.
Thanks for the opportunity. Have a
Minister
great day.
Louis Abane. Thank you, sir. We'll be back, folks. We'll be talking a little bit more relaxing subject, sip and paint. We'll be right back. We're back, folks. We're changing gears a little bit here. In the studios, we have Miss Gianni Logan, who's the docent at the Museum of Belize, and Alicia Valentine, coordinator of the Museum of Belizean Art. And they'll be telling us about the Sip and Paint edition at the Museum of Belize. Good morning, ladies.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having us.
So, what's the Sip and Paint edition?
So the Sip and Paint, I think this time our theme is art meet artists. So this is a fundraising effort that we always try to push at the Museum of Belize for us to raise funds for the upkeeps of our programs, and also we're working towards a conservation room for the preservation and protection of our artifacts, right? So we need funds coming in to keep these projects going. So the Art Meets Artists, it's an event on Friday night. We're doing a Sip and Paint edition this time.
Okay.
One of the artists will be leading that would be Miss Brigida Halak. She's actually one of the artists who is displayed in the National Art Collection.
Okay.
Right? So apart from the painting session, the guests will also be able to view the exhibits that we have over at the Museum of Belize. And then we'll also have some games that they'll be able to join us in doing and some nice prizes.
And this take place where? The House of Culture or at the...
At the Museum of Belize on Gabriel Lane.
In Gabriel Lane.
Yeah.
Okay. Explain how do I go about attending this session? Is it a one-off, one night only?
Well, yes, it's a one night only. We try to do this every month. It's just something like Miss Alicia said, it's a fundraising event.
Okay.
So we usually do it once a month.
Oh yeah?
Okay.
This paint and
Yes,
sip?
yes.
Oh.
It's usually a different theme every single time. It depends on what events happen for the month.
Okay.
So yes, that's what we base it off of.
And to purchase your tickets, we have tickets readily available at the Museum of Belize that they could purchase. But we will also be welcoming walk-ins the night of, so they're free to come by to buy the tickets or just show up on Friday night.
So I'm trying to envision it.
You're trying to figure out how this one works.
Yes. So maybe if you walk me through what would be the experience that I would get from this particular
Okay, so
venture.
yes, we have two different packages right now available. We have just the entrance, which is the $30 that you come in.
Okay.
One thing that we're trying to promote is our membership program that we just created. So with each package, you get a free membership. So the first one is the Discovery tier, which is cost $30. That comes with a free glass of wine. You get the entrance, and also you get a charcuterie container as well along with that package. And then
what's that?
It's like it comes with
cheese
board. Cheese board, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
High tech.
Yes, and then along with the $90 package, we have you get a Heritage Enthusiast package, the membership, which is that costs $100. You also get the painting materials. You get a free glass of wine, the entrance, of course, and also the charcuterie container as well. And then with that, you get a free space upstairs. So the Paint and Sip edition is going to be in a room by itself. So they get a VIP experience upstairs.
So you actually get your brush and paint. And,
Paint on what? The wall?
The canvas.
They give you a canvas.
Yes, we have all the materials available.
And then the artist guides you.
Yes.
Is that would be the plan?
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting. You said you've done this before in the same format before, or where people are painting and so?
Yes, we've done multiple paint and sip already. Yes.
Oh, I see. And what's the kind of feedback like with this whole concept?
I think for the most part, persons see it as an alternative to your regular Friday nights, right?
Okay.
We try to have persons come into the museum and for them to experience a different form of art and culture. It's not something that's very popular, I would say, but persons have been very enthusiastic when it comes to it, right? They're well, and I think the outcome has been good, you know. So persons are very receptive, and I think they would give us feedback too when they come, like, hey, I would want to see more of this, or I would want to see, less of that. So their suggestions, we take it into consideration when we plan the other events, right?
And the entrance is what? From the Jillian?
Yes. Right.
What about parking and stuff like that? What's the arrangement for parking?
I think it's pretty free. It's a night event, so the street is pretty clear, right? And it's not something where you will have any kind of traffic or any cars backing up or anything like that. When it comes to parking, I think it's pretty safe. We have cameras outside, so they have nothing to worry about. And we should have more than enough parking for everyone, right?
When you look at the whole concept of the museum, our affinity to our culture, as a docent, and this is just kind of segue a little bit, what is the Belizean culture feeling like towards our own heritage?
Well, to be honest with you, we get a number of visitors that actually do not know that the museum is actually there. And we also get a number of guests that comes in and says, this is my first time here. right? And I feel like it's very, I wouldn't say embarrassing, but you know, for our own Belizean not to have experienced certain stuff like this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then they do come in and they see all of the exhibits that we have and so much history that they do not know about. So it's
Yeah,
very
amazed, no?
interesting, yes. It's very interesting every day working with Belizeans themselves. So yes.
And look, coming back to the night of the event, they get you could get a tour as well, or
Yes,
it's a
yes,
walk around?
we have docents available to give you tours as you please. So once so that's what we push. You get your free glass of wine, you come in, you browse around. If you would like a tour, you could feel free to ask. We're more than happy to accommodate you guys.
You know,
I think this is why initiatives like this are important.
All right.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's hard to convince, because some persons are genuinely not interested, right? But we try to put a social aspect to it where you could socialize and learn, right?
There's a blend.
Right, you know, and they're more receptive to that.
Yeah, museums are like that. And you're right, I think more people should go to the museum and take a look around. Somebody listening who's never been there, you know, if I went to the museum right now, what would I see?
So we have multiple exhibits up right now. We have permanent exhibits, which is the Enslaved exhibit, which tells you about the rise and fall of slavery in Belize. Basically, their journey here, of course, where we came from, of course. We have our coins, battle and antique collection. Heading upstairs, we have our Maya Creating Civilization. That's one of our most, the best exhibits that the tourists, they say that they enjoy. We have a lot of stuff about the Mayas. We have interactive games as well. And then heading to the back, we have our painting gallery from Mr. Pen Cayetano. He's a painter from Dangriga. He's a painter and also a musician. We have our maker, we have our bird room. And then at the back, we have our entomology room, which contains the insects and also the butterflies. So it's a whole variety.
It's an experience to go there. Yeah. How often do you change or do you bring in new exhibits?
Well, we usually do it once a year. So basically once a year, it's just basically the upstairs floor. That's what gets changed around for the year.
Okay.
But the downstairs floor is pretty permanent.
Yeah, okay, so that's a permanent exhibit.
Yes.
You know, you mentioned when he asked about parking, and this is pretty quiet. I think that's one of the things about the museum. It's there, but it's out of sight, out of mind kind of thing.
Too quiet, no?
Yeah. And museums need to attract attention. I think you need something more colorful or some big signs or something somewhere. And I mean big.
Yes.
The Museum of Belize, you know, then they build a new bridge maybe or a sign over, I don't know. But something like that to people remind you that it's there.
Yeah, I like the sign
It
because
means-
usually it's kind of like out of the way.
Even you go to New York or London, you should see the way they dress up the museum because when you have to look at it.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
otherwise
hard to
they look like
miss.
in a building.
They
Yes,
put
they have
flags
things
and
out
different
there
things, yeah.
and so on. You're in a museum. You're in a historical part of the city, and I would encourage that.
Yeah, no,
Because
I
the
agree
exhibits,
with you.
I mean, anyone listening, I've been there, and it's worth the while. It
Yes.
is worth the while to exhibit that. So you buy your ticket where?
At the Museum of Belize.
A Museum of Belize.
Yeah, and then you could just do a walk-in, but we would recommend that you come to purchase your tickets early because it
Because
would
you have
enlist
limited
you
space, I
to
would
win
think.
some raffles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
so there's
we
also
have-
a raffle as well.
Yeah, we
Yes.
have games and raffles the night of. So we try to make it as interactive as possible.
So the number of persons that we are expecting for the sip and paint, we have 20. So it's limited tickets available
That's
for the
right.
sip and paint. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you don't have unlimited canvas.
No, and space and I guess you have to get your tripod or
Exactly.
your stand for that.
Exactly. You know.
But coming back to the whole issue of the museum, you also have the House of Culture that also have exhibits as well. Am I correct?
Right. So we have a permanent exhibit, which is the Museum of Belizean Art.
Okay.
This is housed inside the government house.
Right.
So what we have there, it's pure Belizean paintings from our Belizean artists. That museum, the museum is pretty new. It's 2 years old this year. So that's what we have over at the MOBA. It's not, we haven't rotated the exhibit as yet, but we have had a really good and engaging crowd coming in, mostly tourists, I would say, right? Our Belizeans have been coming in, but 1-1, right? I think tourists have been driving it for the most part, and they're very impressed. And when we explain to them what it is and where it's housed, you know, the historical and the political importance of what the building means and how we're trying to decolonize the building and trying to work with our artists and to see how we could improve the space and make it something that it could be beneficial to our community, you know. So it's a young museum, and we're trying to let it be something bigger in the future, right? But this is why these events that we're doing is important, because we can't do anything without financial support.
Well, at least the House of Culture is used for a lot of other events.
Yes.
You know, I mean...
Niche itself, we only have the Museum of Belizean Art on the House of Culture compound, but the House of Culture building is also used for exhibitions from our artists, right?
Yeah.
So it's a space that we offer to them to do their work.
I see, I see. When you look at the whole concept, and I think Ernesto alluded to it, in terms of us appreciating the artifacts and stuff like that, I guess it doesn't hit us on, no, we talk a lot about it, but it doesn't really hit us until maybe you get to see it and experience it. And so the important thing is to try to see how we could magnetize people towards the museum to get an appreciation for some of the sites and maybe songs that would exist there as well, because yes, it's an experience.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes we talk a lot about our history, but we never actually, if you ask some of the young kids them about the artifacts, and so
all schools should have a tour.
They should.
Yeah.
That should be part of the school.
It should be built in, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, we try to push it as much as possible. At both museums, our school tours, they're free. Right?
Yeah.
So all they have to do is call us to schedule in, and we're more than happy to get that done.
Yeah, they could bring in 20, 30 kids one classroom, you know,
Yeah.
every so often.
I think we have them mostly in the month of May, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We usually get sometimes like 100 kids per the day. Sometimes we usually get a good amount just per day.
Okay, well, I think the effort has to be that more of our young people get to appreciate the environment.
Yeah.
Who sets up the exhibits? Where does that come from? Because I understand in Belmopan, for instance, we have somewhere stored a lot of Belizean artifacts and Mayan stuff.
Yeah.
I understand a lot of it is not out here.
Inventory?
You know, we have an inventory of that stuff. You know.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the exhibit that we're doing. For the Museum of Belizean Art, we have, for each exhibit, we have curators. So whoever they choose to curate the exhibit, those are the ones responsible to choose the items that they want to display, right? Correct. Like for the Museum of Belizean Art, Mr. Gilvano Swayze, he was the one that curated the MOBA, right?
Okay.
And then the ones at the Museum of Belize.
It's by the director, Miss Smiling. So she's the curator, and so she does all of the exhibits with, of course, the help from us or
obviously,
her staff. Yes.
And historically,
So
and
she
so
does.
on.
We have to give it out to her. She does most of the work, but of course with the help of her staff.
And we always talk about, we say around homes in Belize City, I don't know how relevant that is now. People have some really ancient stuff.
Yes.
You know, that they've been in an attic or, I don't know, in the house, or you walk into somebody's house, you see an old sofa, you know, out of board, you know, that we used to sit on many years ago. Things like that, you know, to come up and see what the old Belize used to be like.
We actually just had an opening of an exhibit which is under the stairway when you're heading upstairs, which is called accoutrements. So it's something basically just in regards to that, yes. So basically we have all of the antiques down there.
Antiquities.
Yes. So, and also if you do have a antique at home that maybe you want to donate, we do accept donations as well.
That's a good point.
Yes.
We need to do a drive of that.
Yeah, a call.
Specifically.
Call
you
for
know.
antiquities.
Yeah.
So this Friday night.
Sorry, if you go to the House of Culture
Okay.
compound, you could see a old horse and carriage as well that we put on display.
Oh, yes?
Right?
The horse still there?
No.
Oh, the horse not there.
No,
right.
he died.
Yeah, I have a fake horse. So this Friday night, Sit and Paint edition at the Museum of Belize. And it starts when? At what time?
6:30
6:30
to 11:30
to 11:30. Get your tickets
at the museum.
Museum of Belize. Well, we certainly urge all Belizeans, you have nothing exciting to do this Friday night. Head out.
That's
to
exciting
This is exciting.
You need
You
some
know
Go
what?
to
We
the
want to
Museum of
encourage.
Belize if you don't have anything that you had
Yeah.
planned. Let's now that you know.
Yeah,
this
and
is
I
happening.
think for the adults, you know, I would plead to them, bring your children.
Okay.
You know, I think that they would be surprised at the reaction that
You
their
should do
children
one.
would give us.
That would have been an excellent summer program, a painting. Sip
Yes,
and
yeah,
paint.
we did.
You did one?
Yeah, we did. We did
There you
one.
go.
Right?
Yeah,
We did
that's
one at
the
the. We definitely did one, and
Summer
the
camps
engagement
and
was really good. You know, kids are very
Yes.
receptive to these things.
Yeah,
You know,
they
so
love it.
I would encourage the adults to bring your children, bring your nieces, bring your nephews, and enroll them and let them learn while having fun.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You need to have like an earlier one for the kids and the adult one start a little later.
Well,
Like
that's
so you
true.
don't
That's
mix,
something we
you
could
don't
think
mix
about.
the two in one. Because my mom might want to go out by itself.
It's
She want to sit and sip.
It's Friday night. It's Friday night, indeed. Well, we certainly urge everybody to attend, and we trust that you get the level of turnout because, as you said,
It's
it
worth
is a fundraiser as well to continue your work. And so all roads should be leading towards the Museum of Belize this Friday night, 6:30 to 11, the Sit and Paint edition.
Right.
You know, I mentioned about out of sight, out of mind. If you went on the street right now and asked children where the post office is, they couldn't tell you.
That's true.
You know, a lot of them will you say, where the post office is?
Used to before.
Probably before because it was in your
Yeah, it was right there, but
Right
since
there.
the fire and all of that.
Because and they don't use it. They don't go
Yeah.
anymore, you know. If
Yeah.
you heard that and ask them, where is the Museum of Belize? You know, interesting to find out how many of them would really know. And that's why I said, the museum needs to, it's a show place.
Push.
It's like a cinema. It's like
Yeah,
your experience is
yeah.
right there. You know, you could do it like that. Anyway, thanks for coming, lady. You ladies are working on it and,
Yes, we want to thank
Keeping it
Gianni,
up front.
Logan, and Alicia Valentine for stopping by and enlightening us about this big event coming up and
shall go
what
paint.
it is that they do.
You got any talent painting?
Why not? Well, I could.
You could paint holes.
I will dab, as we
You're
would say.
dab. Sip and dab.
After 2 glasses of wine, it will be easy.
Instantly, next thing you know, I've created a masterpiece.
There you go.
Right.
But you have to wait till it's dead so then could sell it.
I'm hoping I could unload it before and reap the spoils, no? But certainly want to thank you both for coming in. Well, Ernesto, we've come to the end of our show this morning. I want to say thank you to Armin Arana for doing a good job on Love FM, our master control operator this morning, William Usher, as well as Richard Herbert and Manuela Yusuf for producing the morning show, and Andrew Jones for streaming, and certainly our callers and all our guests that has joined us this morning, that made this morning interesting and informative.
I think we had another interesting morning.
Yes, it was indeed. And certainly want to thank all those behind the scene who made this show possible, as well as you, our viewers and listeners. Show the length and breadth of this. Be a beautiful jewel of ours. We're glad you could join us. You were streaming in the diaspora. We also welcome you, and we trust that this morning's discussion was engaging and informative. And of course, as we always say, come back again tomorrow, where we will do this all over again just for you.
Belize and beyond, thanks for choosing love.
Yes, bye-bye.
Good morning, Belize, and good morning. I say good morning, Belize, and good morning. And how are you this morning?
work and give